Greetings, my name is Quay, Great Future Consultancy. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel, Great Future Consultancy, where we have a lot of content that talks about a little bit of everything, but most importantly, the topic that everybody is talking about, music and AI. So there's a good piece of content talking about my perspective on AI that you can definitely check out. Today, I wanted to talk about an article that I read that seemed to be preposterous, seemed to be crazy, but as I started digging in a little bit more and getting some more information, it is true. And so this huge company that handles a lot of data that works with Spotify released some information about how many people are actually listening to tracks, not tracks, and just engaging into the Spotify platform. But there was this number that jumped out at me that I thought was so interesting. So it was 38 million tracks on Spotify's platform has 0 plays globally. And then 66 million tracks have 10 or less plays, streams for a whole year globally. And I thought, wow, those numbers are just crazy to think about. There's that many tracks, that many artists out there that are putting out what they believe to be their great music, and people aren't finding it, or people have no interest. And so, I was just thinking about that a little bit more, and I wanted to talk about that because in my mind, the reason that you don't have any plays is because you didn't have a plan. And I've learned this from so many artists in the past that, you get in the studio, you write your lyrics, you know the beat, you get in the studio and you think you have, an above average product that is ready to be released into the world, and then you release it into the world with no type of plan. Just put it out there and hopefully it sticks. And you're fighting so many things. You're fighting your fans and people just not caring. And it's not that they don't care about you individually or your music. It's just like there's a lot of things going on in the world nowadays, and so the attention span is very low. And so you got to prioritize the things that make more sense to you. And so sometimes music discovery is not it for you, especially if you're a new artist. So you're fighting those things. You're fighting attention span. You're fighting people daily lives being super busy, and then the algorithm that doesn't necessarily want to see you succeed, because if you don't have a plan right off in the first week, the algorithm will start to bury you. So, when I start seeing those numbers, it just really came to mind that, look, you gotta have a plan. You gotta understand when you're getting ready to release music, you gotta set up some goals for yourself. Who's going to be the listener? Who do you want to hit with your music? Who do you want to try to acquire? Those kind of things are very important to the release of your music. You gotta have that, especially if you're an up and coming artist and just trying to plan out how you want to succeed. This is kind of different on the perspective. My thoughts are also too is, why don't you build something that you can control more, like a website or some type of blog or something, where you can put your music there and then kind of grow this following. And then as it's growing, then you move it over to a Spotify or something like that, because now you've tested it and you know that it works. So now you can put it on a Spotify or these other platforms. Now you have mass and global distribution. But start small on your website or your blog, and control the controllables rather than just putting it on something so massive and then getting no return on your investment and your passion. And you poured everything into the song, and now nobody's listening to it. So have a plan. 2, control the controllables. Make a website, make a blog, put your song on there. If you have a video with it, put it on your website. Those are the things that you can control. You can't control other people's platforms, but you can control yours. So, just thought about that. 38 million tracks, 0 plays, 66 million tracks with 10 or less. those numbers are just crazy. And there's got to be more of a game plan, more strategic decision making when you're putting out your music. So that's just my thoughts. Wanted to share that with you. Great Future Consultancy. Thank you.